I was 7 the first time I saw him. Not in the way children say they see imaginary friends. No, this was different. This wasn't a game, or a shadow, or a nightmare. It happened in my grandmother's bathroom. We just moved in with her for a while after Dad lost his job and Mom said she needed help. It was an old farmhouse. Quiet. Always too quiet. And the mirrors, they were everywhere. In the hallway, in the living room, even by the stairs. But the worst was in the bathroom, a tall, silver-edged antique mirror that stretched from the sink to the ceiling. It was so old that the edges were starting to turn black and flake. It looked like something that should have been buried with its owner. I hated that mirror, but it was the only one I ever saw him in. It started subtly. At first, I thought it was me, maybe just my reflection lagging behind a little. But then one night, I saw it clearly. I had finished brushing my teeth and leaned down to rinse. When I stood up again and looked in the mirror, there he was, behind me, just standing there. He looked about my age. Same size. Same haircut even. But the skin was too pale. Almost gray. And his eyes, I swear they had no whites, just a dull, fogged-out blue that looked like they'd been underwater too long. And the worst part? He was smiling. Not a friendly smile. Not even a mischievous one. It was wide, stiff, like his face had forgotten how to do anything else. I turned around, of course, no one was there. But in the mirror, he hadn't moved. He was still staring. Still smiling. And then he raised his hand. But I didn't. I screamed. My mom rushed in. She laughed when I told her. "It's just a bad dream," she said. "Maybe you're too tired. No more cookies before bed." But that was the start of it. Over the next year, it got worse. He didn't always appear. Sometimes days would go by. But I learned the pattern. He came when I was alone. He came when I looked too long. And he always came after 3 a.m. We moved out of Grandma's house after Dad found work again. I thought maybe I'd left him behind, that maybe he was tied to the house or the mirror or something. But no. The mirrors in our new house were different, clean, modern, normal. But I still saw things. Reflections that didn't quite match. Smiles that didn't belong to me. And shadows that weren't cast by anything. I started covering the mirrors. At first, my parents thought I was being silly. Then they got mad. Then they sent me to a therapist. They thought I had a trauma response. They never considered the truth. The boy in the mirror wasn't just in my head. He was waiting. On my 13th birthday, he spoke to me. It was just a whisper. I'd pulled the towel off the bathroom mirror to get ready for school. And there he was, no warning. Just there. Closer than before. Too close. I froze. Then I heard it, not through my ears, but inside my head. "Happy birthday." I dropped the toothbrush. Backed into the door. His mouth hadn't moved. But I felt it. The words echoed like someone speaking from under a lake. I covered the mirror again. And this time I begged Mom to get rid of it. She refused. Said I needed to face my fears. The next night I tried talking back. I waited until 3:03 a.m., the exact time he usually appeared. I uncovered the mirror, heart pounding in my chest. And he came. Standing behind me. Smiling. Older now? Not by much, maybe 14. But his skin looked stretched, like it didn't fit right anymore. His smile was sharper. I whispered, "Who are you?" He tilted his head like a curious dog. Then he spoke again, same voice, same echo. "I'm what you leave behind." "But I remember you." I asked him what he wanted. "Skin. Yours." I slammed the towel back over the mirror and didn't sleep that night. When I turned 15, I started seeing him in other reflections. Windows. TV screens. Puddles. He was growing stronger. Or maybe I was just seeing more of the truth. I stopped telling my parents. I stopped telling anyone. Until my cousin stayed over. She was brushing her hair in the hallway mirror. Laughing, humming. And then suddenly she screamed. I ran to her. She pointed to the mirror, pale as a sheet. There was a boy. He was standing behind me, she whispered. He smiled. I didn't say a word. I just nodded. By 16, I had rituals. Every night before bed, I check every mirror. Make sure they were covered. I even taped blackout paper to my phone screen so I wouldn't accidentally catch a reflection. But it was never enough. I started having dreams, or what I thought were dreams. I'd wake up in places that didn't exist. Endless hallways of glass. Mirrors on every side. And he would be there, always waiting at the far end. Smiling. Wearing my face only wrong. Sometimes he would whisper things I didn't understand. Other times he would just stare. And then, one night, he said, "Soon it won't matter which side you're on." Last week, something changed. I was getting ready for bed. Uncovered the bathroom mirror without thinking. And there he was, inches away. Older. My age now. But his eyes, they weren't empty anymore. They were hungry. He raised his hand again, and this time I felt it. A cold pressure around my wrist, like fingers made of ice. But when I looked down, nothing. I ran. I slammed the door shut. And I finally told my parents everything. To my surprise, they listened. Dad even took down the mirror and smashed it. But that night, as I closed my laptop, I saw him. Not in a mirror, but in the black screen itself. He was there. Smiling. Closer than ever. Now I'm on a trip with my father. Business. We're staying in a hotel, fancy, modern. But the mirrors. There are too many. Too clean. Too wide. I tried not to look. I really tried. But tonight, I slipped. I caught my reflection in the closet mirror. And he wasn't behind me anymore. He was in place of me. He smiled. And then he spoke one last time. You blinked first. I haven't been able to stop staring since. I don't know if I'm in control anymore. Sometimes I see my hands move and I didn't tell them to. Sometimes I laugh and I don't feel happy. And the mirrors, they don't reflect me anymore. They reflect him. So if you're watching this, if you found this recording, don't look into your mirror tonight. If you see something strange, don't stare. Don't speak. And whatever you do, don't blink.